In this walkthrough, I want to take you through some steps that are related to an exercise that I do in one of my classes. And that is bringing in local business data using the business analysis tools in ArcGIS Pro. Here we're looking at the Courthouse Square area of Macomb, Illinois, and we would like to get points of interest for this part of the community. We're going to use business analysis. We find business analysis on the analysis tab of the ribbon. It's over here on the right. And what we are interested in here is a point of interest search. When we do this in the exercise for my class, what we'll do is select data axle as the data source. And then you can see in this dropdown, there are all kinds of categories of businesses. But what we're going to do initially is, especially if you don't know what businesses are where in a community that you're making a map for, is I'll just do show all. And then I'll click next. And it's going to tell me how many results are going to be. I'll click next. And I'll make my output be Courthouse Square POI for points of interest, and then I'll say finish. It's going to run the tool, and it won't take very long at all to come up with the output. I will open the attribute table so we can take a look at what's going on in the output from the business analysis. We see all kinds of information in here. There's a field where we have the name of the business, and it's showing us street and city and state information, zip code information. What we are going to be interested in is if we scroll to the right, you're going to see all NAICS codes, and then next to that, you're going to see primary NAICS, and then NAICS industry sector. The industry sector provides us general categories that the individual points of interest fall under, but these are not very detailed. You can see public administration or retail trade, but we don't know if public administration is a police department or city hall, or if the retail trade is a grocery store or some other kind of commercial enterprise. We need to make a map where we have a little bit more detail, but all we have to use are these codes. One thing that you need to be aware of with the output from Data Axle is that the primary NAICS code field contains an 8-digit number. The NAICS codes that are the most detailed that are produced by the U.S. government are only 6 numbers long. The 2 extra numbers in this field are at the end of the primary NAICS codes, and they are proprietary from Data Axle. So the first 6 numbers are the code that the federal government issues, and then the company that we use to do the business analysis point of interest search adds these additional codes. So in order to get detailed information, we need to do 2 things. Thing number 1 is that we need to have a field that shows the primary NAICS codes, but only the first 6 digits. The next thing that we need to do is we need to join the attribute table for our points of interest output with a table that has the 6-digit NAICS codes and their explanations. So what kind of business is in a particular 6-digit NAICS code? So we'll do the first part where we're going to create a new field, and then we're going to populate that new field with the first 6 digits of the NAICS code. We're going to go up to Add Field, and we're going to click on that. And at the bottom of the table, we see where the new field is showing up. I'm going to call mine NAICS 6, and I'll do NAICS 6 for the alias, even though I didn't need to do that. And then I'm going to choose a data type of text. Even though these are 6-digit numerical codes, we treat them as text, very much like we would do zip codes in a GIS layer. So I'll click Save, which saves the changes to the attribute table. I also meant to do this. You can drag the field up so it's right next to the field that has the code. So I'm going to save that again. And when that is done, I will close out the fields view. And now we can see the primary NAICS codes. And then we have this empty NAICS 6 code. So in order to get the first 6 digits into this field, we're going to right click and do Calculate Field. We will scroll down because we're going to use the primary NAICS code, but then we're going to add a Python code. We're going to use the left bracket. We're going to do a colon and then -2 and then end bracket. What this is going to do is it's going to copy over the code from the primary NAICS field, but it's going to leave off the final 2 numbers in that 8-digit code. I will confirm that my expression is valid, and then I will say OK. And it will do the calculation for every record. And now we see we have a 6-digit code in here. The next step is to join a table that explains what these codes are. I have an Excel file available, and I will link that file below so you can access that if you want. We will do an attribute join. So we'll right-click our point of interest layer. We will go to Joins and Relates, and we will say Add Join. And the Add Join dialog shows up. We will select our join table. I don't have this Excel file in ArcGIS Pro, but I can access it and join it to the point of interest layer by browsing for it. The layer is going to be in a folder that I have created. And so when you have an Excel file, if you click on it and say open, it doesn't actually open the Excel file. What happens if I click open is it goes into the Excel file and it shows you each of the worksheets that are located in the spreadsheet. This file only has one worksheet in it, but if you had an Excel file with many worksheets, they would all be listed here, and you have to choose which one you're going to use in the join. So I will select the NAICS worksheet and I'll say OK. And it's identified in that table that there is a code field which matches up with the NAICS 6 field. So I'll validate this join, make sure everything is going to work correctly or as correctly as possible. And we get this message showing us that it matched 164 records of our table. There were 170 records in our table, so 6 of them did not get matched. And you're likely going to be the 99990, which is an unclassified establishment, being the ones that didn't get matched for the join. We'll click OK. And now that the join is complete, we scroll all the way to the end of the attribute table. And we can see now, here's the code that was in the Excel spreadsheet. The sector field contains the information that we are interested in. So we can see now that we have recyclable merchant retails, legislative bodies, tax preparation, offices of lawyers, and things like that, where we had just professional, scientific, financial, and insurance, and so forth. We click this one where it's finance and insurance. We scroll to the right. We say, oh, it's an insurance agency. If I close this, I can symbolize my points of interest using a unique value symbol, and I'm going to go all the way to the end, and I will use sector. And every sector that was available in the join table now shows up here. And then you can now use this to make unique icons for the symbol here. So a beauty salon, you would use a particular icon that might be different from a barber shop than from a carpet and upholstery thing and a caterer and so forth. So that is how we can get more detailed information into our map using business analysis, even though the business analysis output didn't give us these sectors in the output.